Hello, everyone.
How are you, Eva, Samantha?
Hello.
Roy?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Viola.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So please, please, please open your cameras. In the last webinar, I felt very lonely.
Oh, yes.
Please. And Tassin, you're here, Tassin. Welcome, dear.
I have a message that my
Yeah.
camera is.
Yeah, it says the
Yes, me too.
host
Okay,
is not
okay,
yet has
okay.
stopped.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Here we are. Tassin, good to see you, dear.
Yes, it's very nice to see you all.
Rosanna, where are you?
Coming. I
Okay.
was in Africa.
Yeah, me too.
Hola,
Uno,
hola.
dos, tres, cuatro.
Hola,
Oh,
Eva.
hello,
Hola,
Rosanna.
Cami. Hola, Tassin.
Hi.
Samantha.
No, Keiko is.
Keiko is in the audience and they will promote her to panelist soon.
Okay. Okay. Please, can you promote?
Yes, already.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, here we are.
Oh,
We all are.
hello.
Welcome, Keiko.
Hi, Keiko.
Hello, Keiko.
Hi. Okay,
Hi.
well, we will begin if you agree.
Take a photo before we start, please.
Okay.
Do una photo.
Sorry, let me a minute. So, let me see. Yes. Okay, it's
Thank you.
no, thanks you. Well, okay. Well, good day, everyone. What a wonderful morning we have had, and what a wonderful day. I'm sorry. And welcome to this wonderful webinar we have prepared for you from the most powerful force in the world, that is the feminine force, right? And this webinar is called Clinical Engineering Through the Feminine Eyes. And in this hour, we were going to have a very nice conversation, very relaxed, around the role of feminine clinical engineers. And for this time, I have the participation of 5 extraordinary persons, extraordinary women, extraordinary clinical engineers. And I will only want to mention their names and will ask them to introduce themselves so we can have this interaction the most fluently possible. I welcome my dear friends, Eva Zalewska and Kaliroy Stavrianou, Keiko Fukuoka, Tassin Bukhari, and last but not least, Rosanna Rivas. So if you'd like to introduce yourself so we can begin, and I will ask Rosanna, can you begin, please?
Hi, Fabiola. I'm very happy to join such team, such fantastic team of friends and colleagues. I am always admiración in Spanish, admiration in English, about their outputs and each of their interventions in the site, in the events, and looking forward now today to learn more from them, from you all, and share some of my lessons learned and some of my challenges as well. I am a board member, elected board member of IFMB CED, and elected board member of Health Technology Assessment Division as well. I'm working for the WHO Collaborating Center for Health Technology Management in the University of Vermont. I'm member of the network for HTA, network of PAHO, Pan American Health Organization. Also work in the university, but most of all work engaged with ministries of health, public health sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosanna. Welcome. Now it's time for Kelly Rose Stavrianou. Kelly, welcome.
Hello, hello, welcome everyone. I'm so happy to be among friends today and colleagues. I'm Kali Roy Stabriano, and as far as my background is concerned, I have a bachelor in physics and a master's degree and PhD in biomedical engineering. My main fields of interest are health technology assessment and health technology management. I have Greek origins, but during the last 5 years, I'm residing in UK, where I am a project administrator in the University of Warwick in UK. And in parallel, I'm technical manager in EAMBES, the European Alliance of Medical and Biological Engineering and Science, administrator of Global Clinical Engineering Journal, and manager of Global Clinical Engineering Alliance. I have also been privileged, as you may know, to be the CED Secretariat during the past 4 years. And currently, I'm very honored to be offered a CED co-opted member position by Fabiola. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Now it's turn to our dear Tazeen Bukhari. Tazeen, hello.
Hello, Fabiola. Thank you so much for making me part of this esteemed female engineers, clinical engineers. I do not consider myself as accomplished as my fellow engineers, but I'm a clinical engineer by profession. I've graduated from Imperial College London and have over almost 10 years of experience in regulation, maintenance management, and medical equipment planning. I've been asked by Fabiola to be the board member of IFMBC division, and also working with WHO in Pakistan as a consultant.
Thank you, Tazeen. Thank you. Welcome. Now, I'd like to invite Keiko Fukuda to introduce herself. Hello, Keiko. And thank you so much for joining us. I have to say that for her, it's very, very late. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Fabiola. I'm Keiko Fukuda from Japan. I'm very honored to join this session, even it is midnight here. Right now, I have been working at Osaka University Hospital as an associate professor. Moreover, I have worked at Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare in Japan, a consultant company, distribute company, hospital in Japan and Uganda. Also worked at WHO in Geneva. I am a member of IFBCD, Global Clinical Engineer Alliance, as well as the Japan Association for Clinical Engineers. I look forward to discuss this topic. Thank you, Fabiola.
Thank you. Thank you, Keiko. And again, last but not least, I want to give the mics to Eva Zalewska. Welcome, Eva. It is your mic close.
Thank you very much. I would like to thanks a lot for invitation to such a great discussion today and such important and interesting topic. My name is Ewa Zalewska. I am from Warsaw, Poland. I am professor in biomedical engineering, and I have almost 40 years experience in working as a clinical engineer. And mainly I was working as a partner of medical team, as a member of medical team, let's say, taking part in everyday examinations of patients. I was also president of Polish Society of Biomedical Engineering, and I am president of the biggest chapter of Warsaw chapter of Medical Society. It is Polish Society of Clinical Engineering. And now I am organizing professional courses of clinical engineering in Poland with collaboration and with support of clinical engineering division and all this fascinating clinical engineering international community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As you can see, we have a very, very high quality experience and beautiful participants in this panel. And well, next point of our agenda is that you allow me to share some insights about the conditions of women in engineering in general and then in clinical engineering. So for this, I'm going to share a brief presentation that I prepare for this occasion. So allow me to also, let me see. Okay. Well, it is a very brief overview of what is the situation regarding one of the most significant documents that was released recently by UNESCO. Yeah, this is a report of the STEAM situation and the women role on these areas, and it begins by this statement that is very, very representative. It says STEAM underpins the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and STEAM education can provide learners with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors required for inclusive and sustainable societies. Leaving out girls and women in the STEAM education and careers is a loss for all. Yeah, it is very important to be clear about this. The participation has to be based on providing all the people with the tools and the opportunities that they can develop themselves the best way. And in this regard, the STEAM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics topics are a tool that as a clinical engineers are tools, sorry, as clinical engineers will provide us of this initial education and will provide us of tools that we can develop further in other areas. And the panelists here are examples of that can be achievable. And the idea is to provide them to all the girls in the world, all the females in the world. In this figure, you can see the distribution of female students enrolled in higher education by field of study is an average. And as you can see, business administration and law has the biggest average, and followed by the colors doesn't help, but I think it's a health and welfare, right? And in this regard, health and welfare it is because the professionals of health, the nursing and doctors, and some that has to be more for the clinical care more than engineering. That you can see engineering is all about percentage, but in a smaller percentage. Natural science, information and communication are also the least topics to be attended by a female in higher educations. So this is around 30% of all female students select STEM-related fields in higher education. So this is one of the realities we face now. Then in these two maps, we can see the percentage of female students enrolled in the upper left in the natural science, mathematics, and statistics, and in the lower right in engineering, manufacturing, and constructing programs. As you can see, there are no let's say a field that can be shared in equality with all the countries, and it depends on the field of study. The statistics change, and the conclusion is that even though there are many efforts to include female participation on these fields, it has not been achieved as desired, even in the first in the high level income countries. This happens. So this is a global issue that has to be dealt. And from these statistics, there are some important points to notice. Gender gaps in STEM education become more obvious in higher education. As we know, as we advance in our studies, there are more barriers, social, economic barriers that stops many people to continue. So this is a situation that even gets more evident in STEM education. female students represent only 35% of all the students enrolled in the STEM-related fields, and this is globally. And differences are also observed by disciplines. Yeah, female enrollment is low in engineering, in natural science. I'm not going to mention manufacturing and construction, but it is also present, mathematics and statistics. And difference present in the regional and in the countries. Yeah, the contextual factors affects engagement of the girls and women in these fields, as I said before. And the other problem is that women leave STEM disciplines in disproportionate numbers during their higher education studies and their transitions to the work and even in the career cycle. Yeah, this is a problem that face every STEM field. This is a problem that we face also in clinical engineering, and this is a problem that it is due to different factors. Some of them are not under our complete control. And well, in these two figures, we can see all the factors that influence participations, the female participations and achievement and progression in these studies. Yes, and you can see that there are many different aspects, many different kind of factors. For example, the society, the school, the family and peers and the learner. There are barriers such as languages, special skills, equipment, materials and resources, gender equality policies, legislation, teaching strategies. There are several factors that affect this situation, and some factors that we as everyday working people, everyday working women have to deal with. Some of us, we may deal with them better than others, but the reality is that all of us are affected by some of them, of most of them. And in clinical engineering, some data that we could extract from the our main sources are the following. In our last Congress, International Clinical Engineering and Health Technology Management Congress, we had a very interesting female participation, but also it continues the trend that we lower than our male participants. As you can see, some regions have more female participation than others, but the common denominator is that there are more male participations. And in the collaboration list that we have in the CED, we may appreciate that there are also a very interesting number of female colleagues working in our projects and working together with us, but there are fewer than our male colleagues. So this is a general view of what we are facing on, and taking this information from this, I would like to begin the conversation by asking the first question, that would be, what do you consider has been the most significant achievement of women in clinical engineering? I leave the mic open, to anyone who wants to begin this conversation by answering this question. So please, whoever wants to begin.
I can start.
Sure.
I feel the most significant achievement is this. We have you, Fabiola, who's heading, who's the head CED chair. Then we have Rosanna, we have Calroy, we have Eva, we have Kiko, and we have Adriana. I mean, the achievements that everybody was mentioning, they've headed departments, they've headed organizations, and let's say 20 years or 30 years before, this wasn't happening. Even 10 years before, it wasn't as common as this. So I think this is the big achievement, that we have leaders at every level, and they're women leaders, and they can understand better female contribution to clinical engineering.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to echo Tazin's comments. Indeed, I don't know if there was another CED board with so many women before the one you're chairing now, Fabiola. But I would like also to add that female clinical engineers have an advantage when working in clinical areas. For instance, it's easier to send a female into a sensitive department, such as a mammography, or label and delivery is another area in which women are better suited than males. And there are also positive benefits in the clinical setting because women are seen as less intimidating when reviewing technology with nurses. So in this way, they support clinical staff more. And women possess also other unique characteristics that can be significantly beneficial. The ability to listen, empathy, ability to understand someone else's point of view, and teamwork. And what we know to be the strength of women is adaptability and flexibility. Women also have the innate ability to multitask and adapt to busy environment, usually quicker than men do. And women who pick clinical engineer careers are recognized and valued in most circumstances and create a tremendous positive presence.
Okay. Rosanna?
Yeah, I am delighted and agreed with Tazin and Kali and with these insights about the momentum of IFMBE, in particular with your leadership, Fabiola. We cannot ignore it. This is an achievement and distinctive achievement for every women in IFMBE and out IFMBE as well. And the role of Adriana Velázquez for sure has been, is, and will be a trace for all of us to admire and to follow in the way we can, you know. In addition to that, I believe that the most important highlight I can remark is since the pandemic. I, as all of you, suffer a lot in different ways regarding the pandemic, but the pandemic also gave women globally more visibility. Yeah. Leaders in the homes, houses are women. They are organizing the daily issues and as well the work's responsibilities, etc. But women in the pandemic show pretty much not just the talent in clinical engineering, but as well in leader the crisis inside of their own homes to make things happen inside in the home and outside. Regarding the clinical engineering women in the arena, since from Rwanda, Bangladesh, China, UK, Peru, Mexico, we have working as best as possible and demonstrate pretty well. We were able not just to deal with the crisis, but to contribute in a specific individual way, also in a networking, what we are able to set. And in the pandemic and since the pandemic, the presence of women in roundtables, in areas of decision-making have increased, not as we would like to, but it increased. Mm-hmm. And I believe this is an achievement to remark and to be thankful as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Eva, please. Mike.
Sorry, I agree with all arguments said before, and of course with this main one that our biggest achievement is to having you, Fabiola, as the chair of Clinical Engineering Division with this wonderful team. But it is, of course, I think, much more general achievement, because we should stress that we have almost equal gender balance in clinical engineering. So it means significant position of women, and it is exceptional balance, which is among other fields of engineering, because it is approximated almost at 40 up to 50%, and it is twice higher than in other fields of engineering. So I think that it is very big achievement of women working in clinical engineering. But another one is the contribution which women brought to this field, and the most significant is a new perspective and some kind of new validities which came with women to clinical engineering field and practice. The woman's perspective takes into account an idea of helping others and humanitarian aspect of this profession. Those, together with women's creativity in other activities, enrich clinical engineering profession and help in making important achievements. So, in summary, the most important achievement is almost equal gender balance and bringing by women humanitarian aspect to clinical engineering. I think those two are very, very significant.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Keiko. Please.
Thank you. I agree with all of your idea, and let me explain the Japanese situation. The proportion of female engineer is gradually increasing. About 25 years ago, when I became a clinical engineer, there were not so many female engineers, but I've heard that nowadays about half of the students at college are women in Japan. So definitely, number is increasing. But on the other hand, I think this is more related to the challenges. But I would like to say women do not represent half the workforce yet. I think a major reason is a high turnover rate after marriage or becoming a parent. I have a friend who had a harassment while she was pregnant. This harassment came from her college and even her supervisor. And finally, she quit the job. So number of students is definitely increasing, but the number of women who work in the work is still low. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Keiko. Well, here we said that we were going to have a conversation here, and now we have a participant who would like to converse with us. So I give the floor to Mr. Anwar Hussain. Welcome, and please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Are you hearing?
Yeah, we hear you well.
Congratulations, welcome, and thanks to all for nice conversation. So on behalf of SIAP, we are doing many oil works and disseminated. I am sorry to say that I was sick, so I could not overview all the session. In Bangladesh, I have assessed that no female engineer is yet recruited due to policy, limited scope of the job of the clinical engineers. So my suggestion and opinion is that we need to make a window for the female and male ratio equity. Some problems arise when need to calibrate and set the equipment clinical setting the parameter. Sometimes I have visited many hospitals. Female patients also suffer. According to the rules of the clinical engineers, need to close to the patient. Sometimes some ultrasonogram by vital operation. So patient is shaking the female clinical engineer. So in this field, I have submitting a report to the IFMB, and according to need recommendation and dissemination to our ministry, because we have do a lot of meeting and conducting many conference, but very much complex to motivate them due to lack of their awareness and capacity building. So in this conference, I am going to be conduct a conference in November or December. It will be appreciable if some leaders I will invite at in this conference, then we accommodate the policymakers, stakeholders, then they understand and feel the necessity of the women's clinical engineering in Bangladesh. Thanks to all, this is my speech.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your thoughts. And before we continue, if some of our panelists would like to reply to his comments. No? Well, okay, Mr. Hussein Anwar, thank you so much for your input. And now we have another hand raised, and this is Francine Umutazi. We'll allow you to talk so you can converse with us. Welcome, Francine.
Thank you so much, Fabiola. Thank you, everyone. I'm happy to see this session about women in biomedical engineering, in clinical engineering. And I'm happy to see Eva Zalewska because I studied in Poland at the Łódź University of Technology at IFE. So I'm happy to see someone from Poland and also in this field. It's very warming, heartwarming. So women in this field in Rwanda are very, we also have a big number, over 50% of biomedical technicians, biomedical engineers are women, finishing school right now, coming back, even those studying abroad. Presently, in my division, medical technology division of Rwanda Biomedical Center, we have 4 interns who are women and only one man. So it's really good to see them develop, to see them like this field, and going into working in hospitals, supporting clinicians to improve patient outcome. What I can also add is that in Rwanda, we have a very high-level champion of women, our president, President Kagame. And for young girls, they grow up knowing that they can do everything. They can go into STEM schools, and there are a lot of programs that promote these fields. And I'm really, it's a good period to be witnessing this progress. My own daughter is in math and physics field, and she wants to become an engineer. So it's really heartwarming to see the progress being done. Yeah, worldwide, I see we have Fabiola leading us. I was very happy to see you be voted to lead us. So I really appreciate this program, and I also appreciate the platform that you give us to share our experiences. I hope it's going to continue, and we will be able to support each other to move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francine. This is why we are here. Yeah, this is kind of the profile we provide as CED and as a female force. And I'm sure that our college may also share the same profile. But thank you so much, Francine. Now we have another assistant would like to talk to us, Marta Tusabe. And let me allow you to talk. And if you agree, we may continue to the dialogue after Marta's participation. Welcome, Marta.
Thank you very much, Fabiola. I am glad to be here. My name is Marta Tusabe, a biomedical engineer in Uganda. and I'm also currently working with WHO, supporting work with the Afro region. I am excited to be here, and I was excited to see having a section of clinical engineering through the feminine eyes. It was very interesting. I've seen a significance of this in different ways. For example, I can start with when Fabiola became the chair. This has increased visibility of the fact that women are able to do these jobs. Challenges I have often faced being in a low-income country. People would always ask, you are an engineer and you're a woman, are you able to do it? When you go for a job interview, people would ask, are you able to fix these machines? Are you able to do all this engineering work? We think the jobs are for men. But having Fabiola in place, it helps people know that, well, nowadays we can have women in such positions to do this kind of work. So I personally think that, as well as the fact that Fabiola became chair, it has also increased visibility for other organizations to take up women in leadership positions and women in engineering. So in that kind of way, I believe that we are going to have more women join this. In Uganda, we do not have as many biomedical female engineers like it is in Rwanda. As Francina said, in Uganda, it is still very low. Before I joined WHO, I was teaching in Makerere University, and still you'd find that the number of ladies doing engineering is much less compared to the number of men. And currently, I think they are having one lady in their first year class. It's because I think of the inferiority complex that we are having less women, but I believe as well that through this, for example, having such webinars, they're going to create more visibilities. More women will reach out to listen to these webinars, and they will get to know that they can do it. So thank you, Fabiola. I just want you to increase the volume or increase the visibility more. We are happy you're the chair. Please keep on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marta. And I would like to get this clear. This question was not to tell me everybody that I am here and that's an achievement. Of course it is an achievement, but it is an achievement because of the duty, the everyday work that all of my college, my female colleagues have done. So it is not my achievement. It is the achievement of everybody. And it is also important because we are working together as a team. That's why I decided to invite my college, my board college, and my other college female here. So thank you so much for your kind words, and be sure that I will do my best to raise the expectations in the endeavors we faced on. So after say that, we can pass to the second question we have for our conversatory. That would be, what do you consider to be the biggest challenge that women in clinical engineering are facing? So why don't we begin by Kelly? Kelly, can you?
Thank you, Fabiola. I believe that there are many challenges that women in clinical engineering are facing. Work and family life balance, lack of encouragement and role models, lack of awareness of C-field, as Anwar said, and career advancement opportunities. But according to my opinion, the biggest challenge is that women are more likely to face career interruptions due to family matters. Many working women are faced with a major dilemma when it comes to starting a family. Several working moms sacrifice their family life and free time in order to meet work demands and prove themselves to work and succeed. But I would like to stress out there is no modern discrimination against women in clinical engineering for being women. They receive preference in college admissions, in scholarships, in internships, in hiring. But the only issue I have personally encountered and witnessed is a discrimination against working parents. When you ramp down your hours and take time off for kids, it impacts your career. And sometimes odd work hours or travel may become a concern. Also, the high cost of childcare and limited help offered by some employers is reducing women's participation in the workforce. Working from home options and flexible time schedules has worked well for me, thankfully. And I believe that overall, if you stick to your work and perform well, people respect you and you can make great friends and with team members like you and continue to contribute in the areas you're passionate about.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kali. Okay, let's move to Keiko.
Thank you very much. I would like to say, women and men have the same ability, but let me tell you about my unforgettable experience when I worked in the hospital. I was very upset by what my male supervisor told a young female colleague. Nowadays, by improving medical devices and environment they are using, many newborn baby and children who need a ventilator all the time are able to go back home with these devices. So before they go home, medical staff, including clinical engineer, prepare the troubleshooting manual and emergency procedure. And as one of our preparation, clinical engineer preparation, we visited their home to confirm the environment, such as power, socket, place, and so on. And one day, when one of our female staff planned to visit the patient home for preparation, her male supervisor, our male supervisor asked, can female she do it? It might be related to the market, situation, women can do it, yeah? And I couldn't believe his, this comment. And I was so disappointed, However, other young male staff who worked with her all the time immediately told the supervisor, we already have made a home manual, So this means that anybody can do it properly, both male and female. So, and I think, so nowadays, young generation know that male and female have the same ability, but still, unfortunately, some of people who have old idea still seems to not understand it. So, we have the same ability, but people cannot understand these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very true what you say. Okay, let's move to Eva. The mic here.
I would like to indicate a challenge which seems to me be very important and perspective. I think that we may be satisfied with the achievement of gender balance, so it is not a challenge for future now. But what is very important, and I think that it is very important challenge for today, is to mark a special participation of women in clinical engineering. I mean, it is to find such activities which were not practiced till now due to lack of women's sensitivity and ability to perception. What I think it could be. So I think that the challenge is to look for such activities which women can be leaders. Maybe I think it could be an issue of complex medical devices safety analysis, not only in technical aspect, but also including environmental factors, human factors, ergonometry, and psychology. I think it is an appropriate area for women activity since it is a holistic one. And I think that women have special abilities to deal with such complex and holistic problem when the human factors are very important factors. So I think that it is because now there is a need to develop such safety analysis with other factors than technical. So I think that it can be very good area for women to develop activity. And another challenge, it was just mentioned here, is the lack of women at higher and top positions. So the challenge is to improve this and have more women at higher positions. So I think that those challenges are very important to find areas dedicated for women's ability and improving women's position. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you so much. Let's move to Christine.
I would like to build up on what Kiko explained. So you remember I wrote a blog as well. And that is exactly what I took. So on a personal level, when I was holding a screwdriver to fix a bed, someone came up to me and asked me, what am I doing with a I had to tell him that this is my job, same as you're holding a stethoscope. So that perspective is still there. That is a challenge. But having said that, I feel over the years, people are much more understanding. They do accept clinical engineers. For me, the biggest challenge would be, as Callie said, work and family balance. Recently, I was offered a position which was, in terms of my career, it was something that I really wanted to do. I could actually make a change. It was very motivating. But the only caveat was that I had to move to another city to do it, although the position was spread throughout, but sometimes you're just lost in that documentation and all of that. I mean, things have improved after COVID. There's a lot of working from home and not going to places where you don't have to, but sometimes the legality of things or the documentation just makes it harder for us to move. I mean, if I have to move my daughter, I have to think about her school, I have to think about a lot of things. And at the end of the day, I would be like, okay, is it worth the sacrifice doing all the... So, it's very difficult sometimes just to maintain that balance. And I feel that's still a challenge.
What a challenge, right? Okay, let's move to Rosanna.
It's amazing the kind of pertinence of this exchange and discussion. The evidences shared by each of you is life, is real, is a fact. Each one deals globally with trends and also restrictions that are changing, but not enough yet. Restriction to be a working woman and a mom, or not a mom, but a person in charge of family and work in the arena as well. The traditional approach, as Keiko mentioned, is still there in different ways in Asia, Latin America, Europe is still there. I believe that as much good for us is just to recognize it's not fair, it's not nice, but it's a fact. What we can do with this fact, first of all, think in young women, think in children, women, but think also in adult women, because we do need the community being coached, mentoring, but also improve with knowledge and best practices and dialogues like this. If you think just in the young, because they are young and they can change the world, etc., which is very important, and you ignore the ones, not us, because us before, probably we are lucky, we are all already working in networks, etc. But what about our other colleagues? They do need improvement now. They are adults working hard in diverse areas, private sector, public sector, academia, non-profit, and they are trying to do their best dealing with restrictions. They do need also promotion, information, training, and being engaged in activities like that. Please, one challenge I said in the roundtable is don't forget adult women, because we are dealing with the same issues as well. I have stated, I stated two opportunities in the future, in the present and the future, applied research and digital health, artificial intelligence, and database management. I believe both of them give us as women, also for the men, of course, but are opportunities for us to make things with high impact. And through this high impact, as Tassin and Kali stated as well, showed our distinctive capacities and talents, as well as our partners, males. Insights provided by Eva make me feel very sure about our present and future, and also confident that networking and working in a way of a community, a global community, is the bridge to achieve the trends and challenges we face. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosanna. As always, your insights are very, very valuable. Thank you so much. And your capacity of synthesize all what we have said, it's important for all of us. Thank you for your contributions. Okay, now I'd like to open the mic because we have a couple of assistants that I would like to share their comments with us. And I see the raised hand by Francine, but if you don't mind, Francine, I would like to start by, let's see, by Mary Vidal. He's here with us, and I'll let you your open mic so you can share your comments, your thoughts. Mary, welcome.
Thanks, Fabiola. Hi, everybody. It was a great presentation, the ones that my colleagues made. I just want to congratulate everyone and always think that we as a person, not being like a women or men, we as a person, we can have talent, and we can get and we can achieve whatever we propose. We just need energy, we need passion, we need to work hard in order to get what we want. I just want to mention that. Thank you, Fabiola.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. And now it's turn to Francine. Please, Francine.
Thank you, Fabiola. I just wanted to, before we go, to share one experience we had during COVID of 4 women, 4 biomedical technicians who got pregnant, and they had the challenge of knowing how to continue. This was during the high period when we had a lot of COVID cases. They were working day and night, but they had a challenge because some had even small children. But I wanted to say that they were very brave, and we had 4 babies born. All of them were very healthy. They took their leave only 2 weeks before they had their babies, And it was, we were very proud of them. This was between August 2020 and April 2021. So I wanted to share this and say that sometimes we need to create awareness among women, among young girls, that we can do it. It's possible, and like everybody shared, challenges are always there, but we have to lift each other's up through media outreach, through blogging. I heard one colleague say that she's a blogger. So I think by reaching out, networking, it's going to help so that women can definitely understand that they are able. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francine, and be sure that every thought, every request that it is mentioned in here will be taken into account, and wonderful ideas. Well, let's move to our third question, and it would be that how do you see the future of women in clinical engineering? Let's see, a question to kind of close what we have commented in this session, and I'd like to start by Eva, please, can you?
Thank you very much. I think that answering this question, it would be worth to define why we consider this topic of women in clinical engineering, and what is special in this profession, and why do we think women have a special role in this profession? I think that we have answered those questions in our discussion now. So I think that the future is in increasing and supporting this special role which women may play in clinical engineering, which we have talked about just. But I think also that it would be worth to change the perspective of diversity between women and men, yes? And I think that it means that we should analyze the role of women in clinical engineering, not in a context of gender opposition point of view, but make it an advantage, and to see from the collaboration point of view. The roles of women and men could be complementary. So women bring to clinical engineering diversity, but diversity is a source of inspiration and innovation. So simply it's a source of progress. So I think that it should be an advantage. And I think that in future, we may keep this gender balance that we have, but we should increase good collaboration, and then the diversity will stimulate a complementary development. So I think that we have said a lot about the speciality and special abilities of women for this profession. But I think that it should be an advantage, and the strength is in good collaboration, I think, and in developing the complementary collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Wonderful words. Let's continue with Keiko.
Thank you very much. I think we have a bright future if we respect each other, men and women, because now we have a big sound, one sound right now, and so I think women have a power to definitely go ahead quite rapidly. But on the other hand, I also would like to tell you, men also have rights. Yes. And my nephew, let me tell you my nephew's story. He had a children. He had a child, and when he child was born, he asked his supervisor to take a child care leave, but supervisor said, "Will, do you think men need a child care leave?" Yes, of course. But he said, no. Oh, my nephew didn't receive his request. So we have to, like I think Kariroy said, we when we have a family, we are very busy, and both of us have to respect and work together. So also, we have to respect men and who will take child care. So we need a balance to respect each other. But definitely, I think when we have a good balance, women, had already leadership like you and other people. So it will be good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keiko. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move to Rosanna.
I see the future as amazing, challenging, but exciting as well. I see our future, women in clinical engineering, being successful, not perfect, but encouraged and happy to be able to have more opportunities than our colleagues in the past. We should be respectful to the huge obstacles our colleagues in the past deal with, and be respectful also to the needs nowadays. The needs are, the challenges in health, education, and development are really relevant now. The crisis is global. What could we do from the side of women in clinical engineering? A lot of things as our respectful partners, males, a lot of things if we are able to improve our efforts with this kind of networkings and much more with education and more training. And I like very much to emphasize ethics, being honest, being transparent, being as well respectful is a solid bridge to make things happen as well. Knowledge with ethics will make happen our role and more improved our outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosanna. Let's move to Tazeen.
I personally think the future is quite bright because now we have leaders who are female leaders, and they understand better. So if I've been through an experience, I would know my like a new entrant, what are the problems? She's maintaining a work-life balance. She has other issues at home. So I would be in a better situation to facilitate that person, to encourage that person and create opportunities for them. So since we have global clinical engineering leaders, I feel that they would encourage more and more females, and they have a very exciting future ahead.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Tazeen. And again, last but not least, Kaliroy.
I will echo my friends and colleagues. I also strongly believe and hope that in the future, women will be widely accepted in most departments, health technology management or elsewhere, and the clinical engineering field will offer them more growing opportunities for fulfilling careers. I hope also that clinical engineer, highly qualified women will increase their numbers in managerial roles, and therefore more role models will be inspiring the new generations, because role models serve as a vehicle that empowers young women to follow their dream work. As Adriana Velázquez Berman has inspired me when I was a student. And when they use their voice, they impact a lot. So I'm hoping for a positive change in the near future, and more specifically, in disadvantaged communities. Thank you, Fabiola.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if you noticed that, but during this session, each of you told a story. Yeah, we are storytellers. We communicate by stories, and I'm sure that each one of us in our direct environment share stories on our work in every day, and these issues are mentioned. So I really like to thank you all, because your stories inspire me. Your participation is very important for the board, but also for myself, for me, for my experience enhanced by you. So thank you very much for being here. And I'm sure that this will be one of the many future webinars we will have dealing with this subject that's very, very important and with high impact. It's important to reflect on this field. So once again, I like to thank our audience, the participation of our colleagues from other places, and I want to thank to you all for being with us during this wonderful week. We dealt with many important topics together with our colleagues and friends of the Global Clinical Engineering Alliance. And the invitation for tomorrow, that we will have our award ceremony. Now we have winners of the awards that we were announcing in the previous months. It was very nice experience to know the winners for tomorrow. So the invitation is for you to join us. And for me, thank you so much. Have a good day and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. It
Thank
was
you.
very, very
Bye, Kali,
great.
Keiko,
Thank you.
Tassin, Eva.
It was so
Thank
nice
you.
being with you today. Thank you.
Bye and see you soon.
See you.
See you.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Bye. Goodbye.